I didn't catch my wife cheating in a hotel room. I caught her stealing from me, with my business partner. And by the time I realized what they had done, my marriage, my company, and my entire life were already bleeding money I couldn't trace. This isn't a story about jealousy. It's a story about betrayal so calculated it almost destroyed everything I built in 20 years. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 46 years old. And until a few weeks ago, I thought I was one of the smartest men in the room. I ran a successful consulting firm. I trusted numbers more than emotions. I believed loyalty was something you earned and protected. Turns out, I was wrong about the two people closest to me. From the outside, my life looked boring in the best way. A solid marriage. A profitable company. No scandals. No drama. I co-founded Carter & Wallace Consulting with my college friend Eric Wallace. We met at Northwestern University, two broke students with oversized ambitions. We promised each other something back then: no shortcuts. No shady deals. No screwing each other over. 15 years later, we had offices in 3 states and clients who trusted us with multi-million-dollar operations. We weren't flashy. We were reliable. That's what made us dangerous in our industry. I met my wife Lauren at a charity fundraiser almost 2 decades ago. She wasn't loud. She wasn't dramatic. She didn't flirt. She listened. And for a man like me, that was everything. We dated for 3 years. Married for 17. No kids, by choice. We liked our quiet life. I handled strategy. She handled stability. When our company expanded and needed a CFO, Lauren stepped in. She had an accounting background. She understood compliance. She knew our lifestyle inside out. It felt safe. Eric loved the idea. Who would protect the company better than your wife, he said. I believed him. That decision would later cost me everything. The first warning sign didn't come from intuition. It came from math. Revenue was climbing. Clients were happy. New contracts were flowing in. But our profits? They were shrinking. Not enough to panic. Just enough to whisper. Lauren explained it calmly. Delayed reimbursements. Vendor timing. Operational smoothing. She had charts. She had spreadsheets. She had answers before I finished the questions. Eric backed her up without hesitation. Danny, relax, he said. This is normal growth turbulence. So I ignored the knot in my stomach. That was mistake number 1. Around the same time, my marriage felt different. Not cold. Just distant. Lauren started staying late at the office more often. She guarded her phone more carefully. When I mentioned tightening internal controls, she smiled softly. You're stressed, she said. You're overthinking. Eric said the same thing. Word for word. That's when I noticed something strange. They always spoke as one. Not emotionally. Strategically. Like they had rehearsed. I didn't accuse them. I didn't argue. I did something quieter, and far more dangerous. I hired a forensic accountant. Privately. No emails. No internal memos. No calendar invites. Just raw financial data from the past 18 months. 2 weeks later, my phone rang. The accountant's voice was slow. Careful. Daniel, he said, before I continue. I need to ask you something. What? I asked. Are you prepared for the possibility that this isn't mismanagement? I swallowed. What do you mean? He paused. I mean, this doesn't look accidental. That was the moment my chest tightened. Because suddenly, every late night, every aligned response, every missing dollar, clicked into place. And I realized something terrifying: if this was intentional, then someone I loved was robbing me blind. The accountant hesitated again. "There's more," he said. "Who authorized most of these transactions?" I already knew the answer. But hearing it out loud felt like a knife. "Your wife," he said. "And your partner." In that order. I didn't confront them right away. That's important. Because the moment you let emotions take control, you lose leverage. And I needed leverage. I needed facts. Cold ones. The forensic accountant sent me a secure folder. Inside were spreadsheets, timestamps, approvals, and patterns that made my stomach turn. It wasn't just a few bad decisions. It was a system. A carefully built pipeline. Money leaving our company in small, intelligent amounts. Amounts designed to stay under audit thresholds. Amounts approved personally by Lauren. Amounts routed through vendors that didn't really exist. Shell companies. Consulting fees for strategic advisors who had no digital footprint. And every single one of those payments, signed off by my wife. Reviewed by my partner. Approved together. The accountant added something unexpected. "These payments spike," he said, "whenever Eric travels." I froze. Because Eric traveled a lot. Conferences. Client meetings. Industry summits. And suddenly, so did Lauren. Trips she claimed were for financial oversight. Trips I never questioned. I cross-checked the dates. Hotels. Flights. Expenses. They weren't just in the same cities. They were booking the same hotels. Same nights. Same room blocks. That's when I understood the truth: the affair wasn't a side story. It was the cover. I sat alone in my office that night. Lights off. Laptop glowing. 20 years of trust collapsing into numbers on a screen. Lauren wasn't just cheating on me. She was financing it with stolen money. And Eric? My best friend. The man who toasted my wedding. The godfather to my non-existent kids. He wasn't just betraying me. He was betting I'd never look closely enough. The next morning, I acted normal. I kissed Lauren goodbye. I joked with Eric at the office. I listened. And that's when it became horrifying. They were relaxed. Comfortable. Confident. Lauren talked about long-term growth. Eric joked about early retirement. They had already spent the money in their minds. They thought they were untouchable. That's when I made my decision. I wasn't going to confront them. I was going to document them. I expanded the audit. Quietly. No alerts. No system flags. The deeper we went, the uglier it got. Corporate cards used for *boutique hotels *jewelry stores *luxury dinners *private weekend rentals, all disguised as client entertainment. One charge made me physically sick. A $9,800 retreat in Napa. Labeled as executive strategy alignment. That weekend, Lauren told me she was visiting her sister. Eric told his wife he was mentoring junior consultants. They lied to everyone. But the money never lies. Then came the email. Buried in archived correspondence. Lauren forgot one thing. Her tablet synced automatically. And she never changed the password. The message wasn't romantic. It was worse. It was operational. We need to move another $40,000 before Q3 closes. Keep it under advisory fees. Danny is distracted. He won't notice. I stared at the screen. Reading my own name. Like I was a problem to manage. Not a husband. Not a partner. A risk variable. Something strange happened then. The pain shut off. No rage. No tears. Just clarity. They weren't confused. They weren't impulsive. They were deliberate. And deliberate betrayal deserves deliberate consequences. I met with my lawyer that afternoon. Not a divorce lawyer. A white-collar crime attorney. She listened quietly. Then said 5 words I'll never forget: "This is criminal, Daniel. Fraud. Embezzlement. Conspiracy." And because Lauren was the CFO, she had fiduciary responsibility. Which meant prison wasn't theoretical. It was possible. Very possible. Not yet. Because there was one more thing I needed. Proof that this wasn't just theft. Proof that this was collusion. And I knew exactly how to get it. I invited them both to dinner. At our house. And I watched them walk in together, smiling, comfortable, thinking I was still blind. They had no idea, the trap was already closed. I cooked. That alone should have warned them. Lauren always joked that I only cooked when something mattered. Eric brought wine. Expensive. Confident. Lauren wore the blue dress she knew I loved. They thought this was reconciliation. A reset. A forgiveness dinner. They sat across from me at the table we bought together 10 years earlier. The same table where we signed our first partnership agreement. The irony wasn't lost on me. I didn't accuse. I didn't confront. I asked questions. How's the business really doing? Do you think we've been too trusting? Do you ever worry about audits? Lauren laughed lightly. Danny, you worry too much. Everything's clean. Eric nodded. We've built something solid. No one's looking that closely. That was the moment. They confirmed it. Out loud. On recording. I stood up slowly. Walked to the sideboard. And placed my phone on the table. Screen facing up. Recording light blinking red. Lauren's smile died instantly. Eric froze. What's that? He asked. I finally spoke the truth. It's evidence. Lauren stood so fast her chair hit the floor. You can't do this, she said, voice shaking. I'm your wife. Eric tried logic. Danny, let's talk privately. I looked at both of them. Calm. Controlled. You already talked, I said. For 2 years. With stolen money. Silence swallowed the room. Then Lauren whispered, you wouldn't ruin me. I answered without raising my voice. You ruined yourself. I just stopped protecting you. I didn't sleep. I emailed the board. Attached everything. Audit reports. Bank records. Emails. Hotel receipts. The recording. By noon, the company froze all accounts. By 3 p.m., Eric was escorted out of the building. By 5 p.m., Lauren was terminated for gross misconduct. And by the end of the week, federal investigators were involved. Eric was charged with fraud and conspiracy. His wife filed for divorce 2 days later. Lauren tried to negotiate. Tears. Promises. Apologies she should have given years earlier. But trust doesn't come back once it's monetized. She lost her career. Her professional license. And eventually, her freedom. The judge didn't care that she was my wife. He cared that she was a CFO who stole. I lost a marriage. I lost a partner. I lost years of my life believing in people who saw me as a blind spot. But I gained something better. Truth. Peace. And control over my future. The company survived. Stronger. Cleaner. Built on accountability instead of secrets. People ask me if revenge felt good. It didn't. Justice did. Because betrayal hurts, but betrayal with consequences, that heals. My wife didn't just cheat. She helped my partner steal from our company. And in the end, they didn't lose me. They lost everything. So let me ask you, if you discovered the people closest to you were quietly destroying your life, would you confront them immediately? Or would you do what I did, and let the truth bury them? Tell me in the comments. Follow real-life stories for more true stories of betrayal, justice, and karma.